Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about booking services. Now, this is a different service type. It is more of the buyer purchasing some amount of your time that you're offering. And this can be for a whole range of industries and services. So, for example, if you're a legal expert and you are offering your time and someone wants to visit you for like a half-hour consultation or an hour consultation. Similarly, if you're like a teacher and you are offering your classes online, you can also post as a booking service. So this would be any time where you're offering your time and you're basically going to deliver the services over that time frame with the buyer. So that would be a booking service. So I'm going to show you how to set this up. It's very simple. And there are two different parts to this. So the first thing you need to do is simply hover over the icon which has your name as well as the amount on your account, and simply go to Jobs and click on the drop down. And once you're there, you will see Post New, My Jobs, and Booking. So you're going to click on Booking. Now here, when you're at My Bookings, it will ask you to choose a resource. So a resource is something that you would basically classify the time period that's going to be divided up over the week for that particular service or that particular service type. It could be training, it could be consultation, it could be really anything you want. And this comes in very helpful when you have different booking types of services. And you need to know which calendar to display on your profile where someone can book. So for example, if I'm a teacher, I'm offering teaching services, and that resource would be teaching time. And additionally, if I'm offering something else, say for example, I'm offering Spanish classes, like a secondary language, that would be a different service. And that calendar may look different. And my customers may be from a different time zone, and that would allow me to adjust that time period where I'm available for that. And similarly, it can go on to different services. So I'm just going to show you a basic overview of how to set up a resource and how to set up a booking service. So the first thing you need to do is choose a resource. If you do not have one, you simply go to the right and click on Add New, and that would prompt you for a resource name. Now, in this case, the service I'm going to be offering is creative writing. So the resource name would correspond. So it's easier for me to keep track of what calendar I'm using whenever I post to another booking service. So in this case, it's going to be creative writing classes. So now that I've entered the name of the resource, I simply click Save. Once I save it, I am prompted to choose a resource and then set up my calendar. So I am going to set up Monday. Now there's two different options here for adding a time slot. There's a single option where you simply add the number of hours you're available. So in this case, I'm available for 2 hours. Minutes, 0 minutes. Start time would be 10 to 12. Now I've added a single time slot for Monday. So for Tuesday, I am going to choose bulk. Now this is a very helpful feature if you are available throughout a certain length of time and you're available for certain intervals of time. This will help display that on your calendar. So for example, if on Tuesday, I'm available for, let's say, 6 hours. Once you enter that number, this will display the time frames accordingly. So for example, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., that is a 6-hour duration. And similarly, onwards, so throughout the whole day. So I am actually going to lessen this down. I'm going to put it at 4 hours. And as you can see, this will adjust accordingly. In this case, I am available 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, time between is the break. So the idea here is you are available for 4 hours and you're going to be doing a certain amount of classes or certain amount of bookings in that time period. So the time between will be the break between those bookings. So I only would like 10 minutes. And this interval would really be the booking duration. So for example, if I have 30-minute bookings available, I'm going to put 30 minutes. So I'm going to select 30 minutes. I'm going to add that to time slots. Now, as you can see, this will set up my calendar for Tuesday accordingly, where I have 10-minute breaks and I have 30-minute time slots available where customers can select from among these options. And you can do the same for the rest of the week. Now, this would be recurring. Every week, this would display the same unless you change it. Now, this would be the bookings part. And now we're going to actually post a job that has a booking service. So let me show you how to do that. Now, as you can see, I have already entered the information about what I'm going to be offering as a booking service. I have the title, creative writing classes, and the price would be $30 per booking. And the resource here, I'm going to be using the calendar for creative writing classes. The category would be courses, and subcategory would be ebooks. I've put a description here. That was very important. And I am going to add some tags. In order to add tags, simply enter the word and put a comma after it, and that would create the tag. Once I'm done here, just look it over, looks fine. I got to make sure I got the right resource available, and that is perfectly matching to my title. Now I'm going to go to buyer information. Now this is where a buyer is given instructions on how to proceed or how to submit the request. Anything they would need to know, in particular, if my bookings are only available on Mondays and Tuesdays or whatever day, I will mention that here. So this is something just to give the buyer a heads up more about the service, so that way they're aware. Just helps avoid questions later on. FAQs, same thing. You can go a little more into detail in this. You will enter the most common questions that someone might have or you've kind of noticed from buyers, and you can put those FAQs here. In my case, I don't really have any FAQs. It is pretty straightforward. I'm going to help them with their creative writing skills. Later on, if I have some customers that ask a few questions that seem to be recurring, I'll just put those in the FAQ. Now we go to media. For the image for the job, I am simply going to put an image that I want displayed. And for extras is any additional service that you'd want to offer. You can slide here to enable those. And once I've set everything up, I am simply going to click publish. So now my job is appearing under the My Jobs page, and I'm just going to check it out to see how it looks. So as you can see, the title is good. I have the pricing here on the right, and I have my image here, as well as my description. So now what really separates booking services is basically this calendar. Anybody can look at the timeframes that I have put for the current month, and they can, choose any particular day, and it will show them the corresponding options that are available. So this is what a customer would see, and they would click on that to book the service. And that is pretty much it about booking services.